Hi guys, welcome to the Internet Sex Therapy channel. I'm Gigi Engel. I'm a certified sex educator, writer, and author of All the Fucking Mistakes. And today we're going to be talking about the G-spot. Okay, so there's a lot of misconceptions that go around about the G-spot. People seem to be very confused about it, so we're going to talk about it. Okay, excuse me. Okay, first thing, is the G-spot real? Because a lot of people are like, oh, the G-spot's like made up. Nope, it is definitely real. We're going to break down how. Okay, so this is the clitoris. The clitoris can be up to 5 inches in some people, and the only part you actually see is the outside part here it's just the head of the clitoris, which is the thing you see at the top of the vulva. To give you a better understanding of what that looks like from the outside, I've brought out Valerie the vulva. So we have the clitoral hood here, and the outer part of the clitoris is here. Now, because the G-spot does exist, it's actually a part of the internal body of the clitoris. These are the bulbs, and these are the legs. They're known as cura. And the way that it works is that the clitoris actually sits inside the vulva, obviously behind internally, and the wings stretch out. It's not anatomically correct, obviously, stretch out back towards the anus. And so the way that it works is that you have your vaginal opening here, and if you reach your fingers, or in this instance, I brought out a toy, you reach it back and you can actually stimulate the clitoris from the back. Now, the way that you do this is you insert and you hook up, and it's kind of behind the pubic bone, and you should feel a kind of walnutty patch that is, that's kind of what it feels like, but walnutty. And it's not really a spot. That's another misconception. It's actually more of an area. It's like the back of the clitoral area, essentially the G area. And it can be very, very pleasurable to be stimulated. I think we have a lot of kind of misconceptions about the G-spot because we have this sexual hierarchy where we think that clitoral orgasms, external clitoral orgasms, are not as good as having vaginal orgasms or G-spot orgasms. And honestly, this is just completely wrong. And to think that there's one orgasm that's better than the other is kind of damaging. So having a G-spot orgasm, or having orgasms that are dual orgasms, which is where you're stimulating both the outer clitoris and the G-spot at the same time, which makes it a lot easier to have those kinds of orgasms, can be very pleasurable, but they're not really for everybody. Another thing that happens with the G-spot is I think people want to know about squirting. So is squirting pee? This is sort of a big debate, and it's gone back and forth. Even I've said that it wasn't pee before because there just wasn't a lot of research on it. So basically what squirting is that it's when fluid is released from either the Skene's glands and or from the bladder / urethral sponge, mostly the urethral sponge. And the way that it works is inside of the body, you have the vagina here, right? And then on top of the vaginal canal, you have the urethra, and you have the urethras here. And then the urethral sponge is basically stacked on top of that. So the idea that you're going to be in here hooking up and moving something around and stimulating that area and not stimulating the urethral sponge just kind of defies logic, honestly. So when you squirt, it's the release that can happen either with orgasm, sometimes without orgasm. And yeah, there might be a little bit of diluted urine in it. And the thing that I think really freaks people out is just they're oh, I don't want to pee during sex, I don't want to make a mess. And honestly, who cares? Sex is really fun. If you're worried about making a big mess and you happen to be a gushing squirter, just put down a towel. I often tell people to put down doggy pads, which I know sound like they're not sexy, but honestly can be kind of kinky. So I hope that answered the questions about the G-spot. It is real. It's a part of the internal clitoris. Internal stimulation can feel amazing. It really isn't for everybody. It depends on the kind of stimulation you like. Feel free to get all up in there with a toy, a hand, have your partner go up in there if you want to, and see how you feel about it. It can feel very good to combine it with external clitoral stimulation at the same time, so I would suggest doing that. And lastly, do not forget lube. You want to use lots of lube when you're having any kind of internal penetration. If you're stimulating the clitoris, lube is your best friend, creates a barrier, makes everything better. Please use lube. So I hope that answered your questions about the G-spot, and please like and subscribe if you like the channel, and I will be back with more sex ed videos like this one soon.